18-year-old George Finch has been left in charge of Warwickshire County Council and its £1.5 billion of assets and its revenue budget of about £500 million after the leader, Rob Howard, resigned, citing health issues. Now, both councillors represent Reform UK, and George had been Rob's deputy. Now, a leader election is being held next week, and the teenager hasn't ruled out running for the top job and to be there permanently. Guto, is 18 too young to be in charge of something, well, quite important?
Yeah, well, you can do a lot at 18. You can go and get killed or kill for your country. You can, you can be a cop. You can do lots of things. He doesn't look like a typical 18-year-old, does he? He's suited and booted and he's towering over Nigel Farage. And he looks like the sort of guy who's going to be quite sensible, I think. From what I've read, he's not going to do anything dramatic in the next week. Because in general, I think, with age comes experience, and with experience comes a little bit of wisdom. But as we know, that's not always the case. Some people get worse with age. And so, for me, in the end, as always, I don't want painting by numbers. I don't want us to ban people because they're too old or too young or too male or too female or too whatever it is. This guy is subjected to a democratic election. Mm-hmm. He won that election. He was chosen by his own party to be number 2. He stepped up to temporarily be number 1. And if his party wants him to be number 1, let him have a crack at it. And if he messes up, you can kick him out.
Gemma, 18 too young?
So I like the philosophy and I agree with it, but I think, come on, let's be real. This points to a much wider and broader story about Reform's capabilities. The people who are auditioning to be in power and they've got these council positions, and in so many of them, it's absolutely gone to pot. You have had in Kent, they cancelled a third of their scheduled meetings, and it's just like absolutely all over the shop. Then in Lincolnshire, they cancelled their flood committees to the sort of horror of people that live there. And then in West Northamptonshire, the guy has been got rid of because of terrible conduct, posting far-right content. So it just speaks to the calibre of people that Reform are gathering around them.
And
quite frankly, they're not just talking about pointing at boats and
I shouldn't say the kid, because he's an adult, but he's 18. Why are you judging him for being 18?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying that the original guy, so it's not his fault, the 18, and good on the lad. Good on the lad for being interested in politics at that age and wanting to gain all of that experience. I'm not anti him, but the point is the guy who was supposed to be number 1 has dropped out because he couldn't hack it and didn't really know what the job entailed. And actually working in councils, you want people sorting out the potholes, sorting out all the local issues.
Sure, but
it's not just about going, stop the boat, stop the boat.
But you're talking about, you're talking about Reform's politics, whereas what I'm interested in is 18 too young to be put in charge of anything? And many people will say, look, you aspire to be what you can see, right?
Yeah.
So if you see an 18-year-old who's in politics and is in charge of a council, albeit even temporarily, might that not be an inspiration to get involved in politics early on?
I don't want to say that every 18-year-old is the same, but the ones that come round to my house, who are lovely, they are kind, they are clever, they are bright, I would be horrified if they were advocating for me in a really serious way. At the moment, I'm sorry, you need to mature a little bit more, have a bit more life experience to be able to advocate for people. But I respect anybody getting into politics young, that said, and there might be exceptions.
All right, Gina is in London. Gina, is 18 too young to be in politics?
Morning. No, I wouldn't say so. First of all, I don't support the Reform Party at all. But at 18, no, I don't think it's too young. It just depends on the person. I mean, you've got some 18-year-olds younger, actually, who's looking after their parents because they're disabled, looking after their siblings. I don't think, it just depends on the person. And again, we've got elder politicians who's doing a terrible job of running the country they're supposed to be running. So it just depends on the person. And also, Tony Blair was one of the younger politicians. And personally, I thought he did a wonderful job, when he came in. So I would say, no, he's not too young. It's quite refreshing, actually, to get a younger person who's mature enough. And he's probably going to have advisors anyway to help him along. So, no, I don't think it's too young at all. 18, you can get some very old 18-year-olds and some very silly 48-year-olds. So I wouldn't say that
that is true.
too young.
I do agree with you, Gina, and I'd slightly worry about the fact that now you're facing even more pressure than in the past, and it's a lot of responsibility for someone so young. And there've been a few, like Nadia Whittome, Mari Black, who sort of ended up leaving politics because they found it pretty ferocious and perhaps hadn't built up the resilience that you might need when something goes wrong.
Gina, thank you for kicking us off. Sally's in Devon. Sally, welcome to the show. Is 18 too young to be in politics?
No, I don't think so. In 1783, I've just looked it up, William Pitt the younger was running the country.
That's right.
At a very early age, in his early 20s. So I don't think that 18 is a problem. And also, if you think about it, there's lots of very experienced people probably running the education department day to day. You've got all the permanent staff who are there as well, and I think they would advise this young man, and probably there'd be other people there to help out. And there are some people who are now billionaires who started their own companies when they were very, very young.
But Sally, just very briefly, I mean, it's wonderful to be in politics at the age of 18, but should you be the leader of a council? I mean, he could apply for the position permanently. At the moment, he's just sort of caretaking for it. But do you think an 18-year-old has the experience, the political nous, if you like, to lead a council? Because it's not just about decisions about where you spend your money, but it's how do you bring people together, how you allocate, how you delegate. Yes, you can have advisors, but is 18 a little bit too young to do that? Lovely to be in politics, but should you be a leader of a council?
It's rather like being a teacher. You can be the most genius person in the world, get a first-class degree in everything, or you could get a third-class degree, but you could be a much better teacher because you're just very good at leading people and getting on with people. So I don't think that that being 18 makes you any better or worse. Because you're 18, you've either got natural leadership qualities or you don't, and that's something you're born with.
But Sally, thank you. Sorry, I just want to squeeze in Peter, who's in Somerset. Peter, welcome to the show. You have a story that relates to this.
I do indeed. My grandson, who's currently 22, 23, actually became a parish councillor.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, we can hear you. He became a parish councillor at 18?
At 18. He applied to become one. You have to be elected. It's the lowest form of British government, parish councils. He was so young, but he applied for the next time. He got it, and he's still a parish councillor now. And he is quite a responsible person for his age.
There you go.
But he had the background of starting at 18. So being at 18, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, no, you've got to start somewhere.
Start at the top.
But this guy's starting at the very top. Well, look, good luck to him.